I know I'm not the only one that goes through this, but I do feel like toxic productivity is something that has eaten deep into my system, to the point where it's like, even if I'm resting or I'm taking a nap, some subconscious part of me makes it feel like I should be doing something productive, or I should be working, I should be doing something. Like, I get mad at myself for sleeping too much. I get mad at myself, like maybe I should have gone to bed earlier, because if I had gone to bed earlier, maybe I would have woken up earlier to do what I had to do, and I would have longer hours in the day to do certain things. I get mad at myself for not following my daily routines, because I do feel like these daily routines are things that's supposed to connect me with my spirit, and connecting with my spirit makes me more productive. But this is not something that I do want for myself. This is not something that I want to live with. I just clocked a new age, and I had to do some self-reflection, and I was asking myself, what are certain things I should have done with this? What are certain things that I should have accomplished at this age? What are certain things that I should be doing at this age? Should I have been working on the business? Should I have started some, just do something? But I realized that this is not who I am. This is not what I want for myself, because there's so much more to life than me constantly worrying, constantly being an overthinker. Because if you know me, I am such a huge overthinker, and I don't appreciate myself more. I don't appreciate myself a lot. I don't give myself that sympathy and that empathy and that grace to be like, you're doing enough for yourself, you're doing what you can, and because of that, you need to appreciate yourself and take care of yourself. And that's why today on this video, I'll be sharing with you guys my journey to self-care and self-appreciation. We live in a very high tension, productive world, especially in corporate America, where we are conditioned to always work 8-hour shift, 12-hour shift, and come back at the end of the day to rest. So we always feel like we have to constantly work, and there is no time for self-care. There's no time for self-appreciation, no time to be like, let me baby myself. But we don't realize that not taking care of yourself, not taking out time to be by yourself and in tune and connect with your spirits affects the way that you treat people, affects the way that you actually communicate with yourself, affect the way that you actually communicate with the people around you. For example, now the other day I was putting myself under this high pressure, under this high tension of productivity, where it's like I wasn't making enough YouTube videos, I wasn't putting out enough content, and that made me feel down, that made me feel bad, that made me feel like if I'm not putting out this work that I know that I can do for myself, I'm not going to grow. And I do want to grow, I do want to see myself at the next level. But at that particular point in my life, my nephew came in, baby Michael, and he wanted to be sweet to me, he wanted to be nice, as he always is. But I did a whole transfer of aggression thing, where it's like, because I wasn't feeling productive, because I wasn't feeling like I've reached my max, I've reached the point where it's like, yes, I feel accomplished. I was mad at him, I was upset with him, and I yelled at him, and I looked at his face and I realized that this child has no idea about what I'm going through. So there was no point transferring aggression towards him. All he wanted was for me to be there for him. All he wanted was for me to spend time with him. But I didn't want to do that, because I felt like if I spent time with him, it would take 2 hours of my day and 3 hours of my day, and I'm not going to be able to achieve anything. But that's not what I am. That's not what I want for myself, and that's not who I am. I want to be able to spend time with him and slow down and take the pace slow and just let things flow. But that's not what corporate America has taught us. That's not what the world has taught us. The world has conditioned us to always see productivity as always working, always doing something. If you're not doing something, then you're not being productive. Self-care and self-appreciation is such a huge, important part of our lives, especially as people going in our 20s or even as young adults, because we are always going to be constantly faced with social media and seeing people around our age doing certain things. And of course, we are always going, some subconscious part of our mind is going to make us feel like we're not doing enough, or we should be doing more, we should be working more, so that we can achieve the certain things that this person have achieved. Or there's always going to be room for some kind of comparison, and that is not okay, that is not fine, because you are actually doing enough. You are doing what you can in this space, in this moment that you are in right now. We don't always have to constantly work or constantly do something for us to be seen as productive. I said in my other video, one of my videos, and I said your body is not a machine, and you need to rest, you need to relax, you need to actually take time to just self-reflect and just be in your own. And even in the time of self-reflection, even if you don't have time to self-reflect, you don't always have to bug yourself about self-reflection because you feel like these are things or these are routines that should make you a better person. Yes, there are things that should make you a better person, but at the same time, there are days that you're not going to have time to do certain things. There are days that you're not going to have time to do those daily routines, and that is totally fine, because that's the point. The whole idea of doing these daily routines is to connect with your spirit. But you connecting with your spirit, you don't want to put tension on yourself, you don't want to put pressure on yourself, and the whole atmosphere is messed up, the whole atmosphere is not soothing. And that's not the idea of self-meditation, that's not the idea of you connecting with your spirit. You want to connect with your spirit when you're at ease, and when you feel happy with yourself, when you feel less pressured, when you feel connected with the world and connected with nature. As young adults, being the boss person is such a huge part of our life, because that's how society has made it seem like at 23 you need to be doing this, at 25 you need to be doing this. What are you doing at your age, at a certain age? Why don't you have a business? You know, we are constantly seeing that you are constantly being taught to work and work and work, and we have no grace on ourselves. But you need to realize that your baby steps is what is actually going to make you get to where you're going to. Those little steps that you're making, that efforts that you're taking, those things that you're doing is what is actually going to make you be the better version of yourself. And at the same time, you need to relax, you need to just breathe, you need to just take out time and just be like, I want to leave. I don't want to be alive to work. I don't want to work to be alive. I want to be alive to work, if that makes sense. Like, you don't want to constantly be working and surviving, that you just forget to leave. And leaving simply means you just taking out time also for yourself and just breathe and just let nature come in and just be yourself and just let things be and let things flow. One of my soul sisters would always tell me, you cannot take control. You cannot be worrying about things that you cannot control, because at the end of the day, what's the point of always worrying when you know within yourself you have absolutely no control over those things? So constantly worrying about those things, or constantly being hard on yourself and certain things that you know you have absolutely no control over, it's literally pointless, because you have no control over it. You're worrying about it. It's just going to put more tension on yourself. This advice is something I myself personally need to take, because like I said, I am such a huge overthinker, and I be thinking 50 steps ahead, and that's why sometimes it's hard for me to just take out time and actually take care of me. But I have to realize that this is so important to me. I was watching one video the other day, and I cannot remember who the person was, and the person said something. What is life when you are not leaving? What is life when you are not, you're not tapping into that feminine energy of yours, of just relaxing, instead of constantly tapping into the masculine energy of always wanting to provide, or always wanting to work, always wanting to be seen as the boss. Whatever gender that you identify with, it is important that you take out time to be yourself, take out time to just relax. This is something that I myself am struggling with. I'm actually doing this video, but at the same time in my head I'm just like, I actually need to listen to my own advice, because I want to be a better version of myself, but at the same time I need to realize that constantly working is not the way. Constantly doing things all the time is not the way, or bugging myself about certain things when I know I have no control about the things happening in my life. It's not the way. Yes, it's okay for some days for you to push yourself, because sometimes you have to push yourself to get to the point that you want to get to, and that's okay. But there are days also that it's very much allowed for you to rest 8 hours. It's very much allowed for you to rest 10 hours if that's what you want. There are days that your body needs rest, because like I said in my video, your body is not a machine, and if your body breaks down on you, you have no other body to run to except yours. So if you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not if you're not making out time to self-love and self-appreciate yourself and do certain things for yourself that is going to make you feel very, very graceful or make you feel happy, then I don't think what you're doing is worth it, because you need to love on yourself. You need to take care of yourself. Because imagine when you have this such huge self-love for yourself and you're appreciating yourself more, then you're able to provide yourself room to appreciate the people around you. You're able to provide yourself room to actually do certain things that you want to do because you feel very high-spirited. We shouldn't let the whole capitalist corporate America fool us into thinking that spending time with family is such a huge, it's not good, or spending time with family or spending too much time with family means we're not being productive, or if we're not taking care or spending doing self-care or buying certain things for yourself or appreciating yourself, then that's you being selfish to the dreams that you want. No, because listen, if you are not taking care of yourself, those dreams, those accomplishments that you want for yourself, none of them will come to you, because none of them will have a body to accept it. If your body is down, if you are in a hospital or you are not functioning properly, then the things that you want are not going to be able to find you, and we don't want that for ourselves. There's time for everything. There's time to work, there's time to play, there's time to read, there's time to do anything good thing that you want to do. There's an old adage in my country where it says, all work and no play make Jack a dull boy. It's like if you're always working and not playing, then it's going to affect you mentally, and you don't want that for yourself. So like I said, make sure you take our time to breathe, take our time to relax, take our time to appreciate yourself more. Tell yourself that you love you and you are enough and you are doing the best that you can, because if you're not doing the best that you can, you will not be where you are at. Look at yourself in the mirror and appreciate the things that you've done, appreciate the steps that you've made, because you did that, and I love that and I appreciate that. I love Vanessa. I appreciate Vanessa. Vanessa is doing enough. Vanessa is doing the best that she can, and that is something I need to constantly tell myself, and that's something you need to constantly tell yourself. Anyways, I hope this video was able to help somebody out there, and yeah, make sure you continue to be the best version of yourself, continue to remain blessed, continue to remain beautiful, stay glammed, stay highly favored, and continue to be the best version of yourself. See you guys in the next video. Bye guys.